Keeping guns out of the hands of people who shouldn't have them. Today, the state said it is making progress on that front. It's a continuing effort to collect guns from people who bought them legally but are no longer allowed to have them because of criminal convictions or court orders. Our investigative reporter Eric Leonard has an update.
Now, the state attorney general's office says it is increasing each year the number of people contacted by state agents or local police officers who are prohibited from having guns, people who bought them legally but are no longer allowed to have them because of a criminal conviction or a court order. The attorney general says there are signs of progress. The number of contacts have gone up. The number of people on that prohibited list has gone down. New data from the California Department of Justice says more than 25,000 people were visited or contacted in 2023 as part of the state's efforts to remove guns from people who are no longer entitled to possess them.
That was the most contacts we've ever had.
The Attorney General announcing today hundreds of firearms were seized from all over the state, including these handguns, rifles, and the ammunition shown in a DOJ photo found in a home in Azusa. They were owned by a person who was no longer allowed to have them because the person had been forced into mental health treatment.
The goal is simple here: keep the number of illegally armed individuals as low as possible. So by removing guns from the hands of those who shouldn't have them, we keep that number low.
The people on a list of so-called prohibited possessors lost their rights to have guns because of criminal convictions, or they're the subjects of domestic violence or a gun violence restraining order. In 2006, California began tracking these people in a database, but it's taken years to organize and run an enforcement system where people are visited at home. One way people become prohibited is when they're named in a gun violence restraining order, part of California's red flag law that's designed to remove guns from someone who might be considering a violent act. Those can be requested by police or family members or employers, though almost all in LA were requested by police.
So it fits kind of a particular niche as a tool where you don't have someone for a crime yet, but you have concerning behavior.
Last year, the I-Team reported there was a big increase in the number of those orders being requested by LAPD officers. And by last October, LA's courts had seen a similar increase.
2023 marked the highest ever year of gun ownership in California, so more Californians are owning guns.
The Attorney General says the efforts to remove guns from people who shouldn't have them is more important now because there are so many guns in private hands in the state. When we last reported on gun violence restraining orders in October, the LAPD told us officers had requested 46 up to that date in 2023. Well, that number nearly doubled in November and December alone. Detectives tell us they know at least some of those orders prevented violence. I'm investigative reporter Eric Leonard, NBC4 News.